Hello, and welcome to another edition of Mumbles with Cuddles. It's been a while since I've done a video, but I think this game kind of warrants one. It's not particularly well known. It is a third game actually in a series, but it's still not particularly well known. There's a few reasons for it. It's the last two, well, 1 and 2. They weren't exactly particularly well polished. They had quite a few bugs in them, and the voice acting was always terrible. But overall, they were playable games. This one kind of suffers from the same fate. It actually doesn't have voice acting in it at all, which is I'm not sure if that's an improvement or not. So you could argue it is actually because it was so bad in the others. But it does add a few things as well. I'll start with this now. It's probably worth it if it's quite a cheap game and you've got a bit of time to spend, and more importantly you're quite patient. It starts you off in the game with a kind of insane difficulty curve. The tutorial, you can die 100 different ways in, well, not the tutorial, but the first mission kind of thing. And it takes you a while to kind of figure out how to do these things, how to survive, and you're going to find the game quite frustrating to begin with. But that's enough of kind of a general overall negative tone at the start. Let's go over the positives. So, what is this game? Well, it's I guess an RTS, RPG, hybrid type thing. It's got obvious kind of links to Homeworld in it, in the control scheme, although the control scheme is a bit worse than this, really. I find it quite difficult to do things sometimes. But in the control scheme, and even kind of the art style on occasion. So what you basically do is you've got your mothership here, was what you can see here. It's flashing red because it's repairing itself. And you've got, well, at the moment I've only got 2 characters, but you do unlock more afterwards. As you can see, you can select different weaponry for your ships. This is one of the fighters I've got selected there. You see I've got 5 slots in there. I think it's 5 characters you get. This is my second playthrough. My first playthrough was quite a long time ago, so I don't remember everything. But anyway, you also get, if I can find the button to do it, you get crew skills, which you can pick, which I'll go over a bit later, because I honestly can't remember how I get to them now. I'm sure I'll figure it out. So, a bit more about the game. Wait, actually, there we go. I figured it out. So as you can see, there's a bit of a path tree to go down. You do get to pick a class at the start of the game, and the characters you unlock also have kind of base classes set for them. Each thing is just a general increase, and there are abilities which I did unlock, activate in that last battle there. You can also activate missiles, whether you want them to fire them or not, and here you go. Here's a kind of an in-system map, and there's also a galaxy map. So first off, you'll be noticing that the galaxy is actually pretty big. Well, there's quite a lot of systems in there. So you might also be thinking, oh, this actually doesn't look so bad. Maybe I can free roam and do whatever I want. But you actually can't really. You'll kind of have to play the storyline to get anywhere. And I don't know if you're familiar with like Final Fantasy games. Back in the day, you kept going through the story, but eventually you'd have to start kind of grinding to level up. You do have to do that as well in this. So you do get to free roam and kill some stuff on occasion. But most of it is just because you don't have good enough gear yet to take on the story mission you're doing now. The story in general isn't that bad, but it's kind of your standard kind of sci-fi story type thing. So, you know, you've been wronged some way, so you have to find the bad guy that did it. It's seriously just that, with some aliens thrown in there, of course. Can't have it without aliens. But overall, it's actually quite a solid game. Once you get past the bad points, another bad point actually is the optimization in this game is not very good. Sometimes you'll be running at 260 frames per second, and next you'll drive past an asteroid and it will go down to like 20 or something completely ridiculous like that. But yeah, it's quite difficult to really. I'm trying to think of the more positive things to say about this, because I have enjoyed my time with it, which is quite weird. I picked it up for about £3 or something like that, and I've definitely got my money out of it. I very almost pretty much quit and didn't play it because it just, the start of the game was terrible. It was impossible to do anything. You start with unarmed, or you might actually have a little gun, transport ship, and everyone wants to kill you, so it's quite difficult. But once you get into it, once you get your first mothership and your second crew member, things start to get better. But anyway, what you see here is me doing one of the story missions. I've got to defend this convoy or something. I wasn't really paying that much attention, and you'll get to see kind of a pretty big scale battle, I guess, in this game. There's quite a lot of enemies. It goes very quickly though, but you can kind of see the graphics. For a 2010 game, it doesn't look too bad. Let's zoom in a bit on here. There we go. I'll just activate some skills as well. Fire some missiles. Things do go very quickly, and there's a lot of micromanaging though. Like in the middle, if all the AI decided to start shooting one of my players right now, there'd be almost nothing I could do to save them. So it's kind of strategy, and it's part luck as well, really. What a good tactic sometimes is to fly your mothership in forwards if it's got a repair module on it, and then undock everyone. Just because they die very easily when they're low level like this, and it's a real hit because you do have to buy all of your ships and equipment back and things like that. Sometimes your equipment gets dropped when your ship is exploded. As you can see, my mothership is actually pulling in all the loot that it can find from the ships getting exploded at the moment. And what I'll end up doing with those is probably either selling them or using them on my own ships. So there is a bit of a trade function in this game, and each system does have kind of unique properties on occasion when it comes to what you can buy there. I think there's some special fighters that are only available in some systems, and it's actually randomly generated every new game. So sometimes you'll find one of the systems sell something, and then the next playthrough it won't. Which is, I'm not sure if I like that or not, who knows. But I really wish what they would have done is give you a bit more customization options. As I've said before, you can unlock different motherships, but I wish you could just buy new ships instead of just having to unlock them through the story. I think that would have added a little bit more to this game. There's a lot. What this game really could have done with is just people trying to add some things in to add a bit of mix to the game, just because it gets very boring after a while. You're doing the same thing over and over again, you're fighting the same enemies over and over again, and all you're really doing is leveling up your crew and increasing your wealth, really, where you can buy a module here and there. I will say the game does get quite hard and quite challenging, but it's more just because of the insane odds they sometimes put you against, rather than intelligent AI playing against you. Most of the time, well actually all the time, the first thing they see is what they will target and all shoot at first, and then they'll just go to the next closest enemy. So you can try and abuse that quite easily. As I've said before, you move your mothership in first if you know it's a good tank, but you do have to be a bit careful because the later ones on do a lot of damage. But you can buy modules that are like good against lasers and bad against missiles and things like that. So there is quite a lot of strategy in the game, and you can micromanage to make the battles a lot easier, really. So overall, would I recommend this game? Yeah, probably actually. If you think you can get over the first hurdle, which is the start of the game, getting used to the bugs and just getting used to how the game feels, really, you'll be fine, and I think you probably won't regret the purchase as long as it wasn't full price or something like that, because this game is not really not worth that much. I wouldn't have said. I've spent probably 10 hours on it, but 10 hours for £3, that's a pretty good deal in my book. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want more. I'll try and keep doing some more Mumbles with Cuddles. I've been a bit lenient on it recently because I've been very distracted with World of Tanks, but hopefully I can get back onto some space games. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.